Good day, grade 9 students. On this video, we will be dealing about trapezoids and kites. Let us identify what is the difference between trapezoid, kites, and the one that we have discussed last time, which is the parallelograms. To start this video, let us have a review. We have discussed the properties of a rhombus. We have 7 properties. These are, first one, all 4 sides are congruent, meaning lahat ng sides ng isang rhombus ay congruent or equal ang measurement. Second one, opposite angles are congruent. Ibig sabihin, ang magkatapat na angle, sila ay magkakongruent or same measurement. Diagonals bisect each other, meaning, nung nagtagpo ang dalawang diagonals sa intersecting point, nahati nila ang isa't isa sa 2 congruent parts. Diagonals are perpendicular, meaning, nung nagkatagpo ang diagonal sa intersecting point, nagkaroon sila ng 90 degree or nakaform sila ng 90 degrees. Then, diagonals bisect vertices. Noong dumaan ang diagonal sa mga vertices, nahati nila ang angle sa dalawang equal parts. Diagonals are not congruent, and the consecutive angles are supplementary. Again, kapag sinabi nating supplementary, kapag pinagsama ang kanilang measurement, makakabuo sila ng 180 degrees. We also have discussed the properties of a rectangle. First one, all 4 are right angles. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng angle ng isang rectangle ay 90 degrees. Second one, opposite sides are congruent. So kung anong magkatapat na sides, ibig sabihin sila yung congruent at sila rin yung may equal na measurement. Third one, opposite angles are congruent. So masasabi naman natin na bawat angle ng isang rectangle ay congruent kasi lahat sila ay 90 degrees. Then, the fourth one, diagonals bisect each other. The diagonals are congruent. And also, the consecutive angles are supplementary. Kasi nga, 90 plus 90, 180. So, ang dalawang angle na kapag pinagsama at nakabuo ng 180 degrees ay tinatawag nating supplementary. For the last part of the review, we also have discussed the properties of a square. So, malalaman natin ulit or aalalahanin natin ulit kung gaano nga ba ka-special itong square. Parang pinagsama siya ng rhombus at rectangle. First one, all 4 sides are congruent. Ibig sabihin, kagaya ng rhombus, ang bawat side niya ay pare-parehas ang sukat. Second one, all 4 are right angles. Ibig sabihin, kagaya ng rectangle, nakabuo siya ng 90 degrees sa bawat angle. Third one, diagonals bisect each other. Fourth one, diagonals are perpendicular. So, ibig sabihin ulit, nung nagtagpo ang dalawang diagonal sa kanilang intersecting point or point of intersection, nakabuo sila ng 90 degrees. Kaya sinasabing sila ay perpendicular. Fifth one, diagonals bisect vertices. So, mapapansin natin, mula sa 90 degrees, meron tayong dalawang 45. Kasi nung dumaan ang diagonal, nahati ang 90 degrees. Sixth one, diagonals are congruent. And seventh one, consecutive angles are supplementary. In the previous lesson, you learned about parallelograms and their properties. You can recall that a parallelogram is a type of quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides. What do you think would happen when a 4-sided figure only has 1 pair of parallel sides? These 4-sided figures are called trapezoids. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with 1 pair of parallel sides. So, hindi siya kagaya ng parallelogram. Si parallelogram, bawat opposite sides parallel. Kay trapezoid, 1 pair of parallel sides lamang. Another special quadrilateral is the kite. A kite is a quadrilateral that does not have any parallel sides. So, meron tayong tatlo. Parallelogram, 2 pair ang parallel sides. Trapezoid, 1 pair lamang. At pagdating kay kite, hindi tayo makakakuha ng parallel sides. Pero, the consecutive sides are congruent to each other pagdating kay kite. Ibig sabihin, yung magkatabing sides, sila yung congruent or same measurement. So on this lesson, our learning targets are the first one, prove the midline theorem. Second one, prove the theorems on trapezoids and kites. Next one, solve problems involving parallelograms, trapezoids, and kites. Sa videong ito, hindi ninyo makikita ang statement or ang two-column proof para sa proving. Pero makikita ito sa books at saka sa ating math time. So, pakibasa na lamang ito. Dahil ngayon, magfo-focus tayo sa kung paano ba naging kakaiba ang trapezoid and kite, kung anong ibig sabihin ng midline theorem, at kung paano natin i-apply ang mga ito sa pag-solve ng problems na kasali syempre si trapezoids and si kites. The midline theorem. The segment whose endpoints are the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and has a length equal to half the length of the third side. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong midpoints. Ano ba ang midpoints? Sila yung gitnang point na kung saan hahati sa line segment into two equal parts. At kapag ang dalawang midpoints ng isang triangle ay pinag-connect at sila ay parallel to the third side, ang length nito ay equal sa half ng length ng third side. So, para mas malinaw, gumamit tayo ng figure. Let us have triangle ACD, wherein M is the midpoint of AD and N is the midpoint of AC. Balikan natin ang ating midline theorem. Kapag sinabi nating midpoint, sila yung humahati. So, mula nung dumating itong midpoint M kay AD, meron na tayong AM is equal to MD. Para naman kay N, AN is congruent to NC, kung saan AD is equal to AM plus MD at si AC naman equal sa AN plus NC. According to midline theorem, ang ating line segment na na-form mula sa midpoint ay half ng ating third side, which is the base. So on this figure, MN is equal to 1/2 DC. Let us have an example. If MN is equal to 10, find DC. So si MN daw kalahati ng DC. So kung si MN ay 10, what will be the measurement of DC? So we will have this working equation. MN is equal to 1/2 times DC. If MN is 10, we need to multiply it by 2 for us to get the value of DC. Kasi nga kalahatian kalahati ni DC si MN. So we have 2 times 10 equals DC. 2 times 10 is equal to 20. So 20 equals DC. So balikan natin. MN is equal to 1/2 DC. Is 10 a 1/2 of DC? Yes. Therefore, we got the correct answer. MN is equal to 10 and DC is equal to 20. For our second example, if AC is equal to 22, find AN. Let us analyze the figure. Dahil kay N, nahati si AC into two congruent parts. We have AN and NC, meaning the half of AN is AC. So, let us analyze the figure. We will have a working equation AN is equal to 1/2 of AC. Or ibig sabihin, AN is the half of AC. If AC is 22, what is AC divided by 2? So we have AN equals 22 divided by 2. 22 divided by 2 is 11. So meaning AN is equal to 11. And NC or CN is also equal to 11 because AC is equal to AN plus NC. AC, which is 22, is equal to AN, which is 11, plus NC, which is also 11. So we have AN equals 11. For our third example, if AN is equal to 5 and MD is equal to 7, what is AC and AD? Let us solve first for the value of AC. AN came from AC. So, ibig sabihin, kalahati ni AC si AN. If AN is 5, therefore, NC is also 5. So, we have AC equals AN plus NC, which is AC is equal to 5 plus 5. Therefore, AC is equal to 10. For a simpler solution, we can say that AN times 2 is equal to AC. So, AN, which is 5 times 2, 10. So, again, AC is equal to 10. Let us apply the same concept for AD. AD is equal to AM plus MD. Kasi nga kapag pinagsama, si AM at si MD, ang mabubuo natin ay AD. So, if MD is 7, therefore AM is also 7. So, we have AD equals 7 plus 7. So, AD is 14. Let us now proceed to our discussion about trapezoid. A trapezoid has the following parts. First one, the bases. These are the parallel sides of a trapezoid. As you can see on the figure, DC and AD are the parallel sides, so they are the bases. For the legs, these are the non-parallel sides of a trapezoid. So, siya yung nasa sides. So, on the figure, DA and CB are the legs. Base angles. These angles are formed by a base and one of the legs. So, ibig sabihin, for example, if we consider DA or AD, we have AB. And then for the other angle, we have CB and AB. So, the base angles are angle DAB and angle CBA. The last part is the median, which is related to the midline theorem. The median is the segment that joins the midpoints of the legs. So, mabubuo si median kapag pinagsama natin pinag-connect natin ang dalawang midpoints ng ating legs. So, take note, legs ang ating may midpoint. So, kapag sila pinag-connect, meron tayong median. Let us have the theorems on trapezoids. First one, the median of a trapezoid is parallel to the base and its length is half the sum of the lengths of the bases. So, kagaya lamang ito ng meron tayo sa midline theorem. The second one, the median of a trapezoid bisects each of the diagonals. We also have a special type of trapezoid, which is the isosceles trapezoid. An isosceles trapezoid is a trapezoid whose non-parallel sides are congruent. So, ibig sabihin, ang kanyang legs ay parehas ng sukat. Hindi siya ordinaryong trapezoid. Kapag ordinaryong trapezoid, i-consider lamang natin ang bases, yung parallel sides, at ang legs na non-parallel sides. So, kapag isosceles trapezoid, congruent ang dalawang legs. Let us now have the properties of isosceles trapezoid. These properties are not present dun sa mga ordinaryo nating trapezoid. The first one, the consecutive angles between bases of a trapezoid are supplementary. So, ang consecutive angles nila sa kanilang bases ay supplementary. Second one, each pair of bases or each pair of base angles are congruent. And the third one, the diagonals are congruent. So, balikan ulit natin, ang consecutive angles, supplementary, pero yung base angles, sila yung congruent. Tapos, ang diagonals niya ay congruent. Let us have our example about trapezoid. AND or trapezoid A and DY is a trapezoid with midline FG. Find the length of FG. So on our figure, AN is equal to 4 cm. DY is equal to 10 cm. So we will use the midline theorem for a trapezoid. Since FG is the midline or the line segment that we form when we connected the two midpoints, so we have FG is equal to AN plus YD over 2. Again, FG is equal to AN plus YD over 2. So we need to add first the lengths between AN and YD and divide it by 2. So we have 4 plus 10 over 2. And then we have 4 plus 10, 14, divided by 2. So we have 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7, meaning FG is equal to 7 cm. Again, we will use trapezoid A and DY with midline FG. Solve for AN. So we need to find now the value of AN. Kanina, ang sinosolve natin ay ang value ng ating midline. So ngayon, ang isosolve natin ay yung other base part niya. So yung nasa upper base natin. So we have FG is equal to 8 cm and DY is equal to 10 cm. We will use the same formula. AN plus DY over 2 is equal to FG. But now, we will have this working equation kasi ang nawawala ay si AN. So we have AN plus 10 over 2 is equal to 8. Sinubstitute ko lang ang value. Kasi sabi natin DY is 10, FG is 8, and take note, 2 is constant. Ibig sabihin, sadyang meron 2 doon sa ilalim. Now, we will have AN plus 10 over 2 is equal to 8. In solving this, para ma-eliminate natin yung 2 sa denominator, we will multiply it to 8. So, parang dinala natin siya dun sa taas. So, we have AN plus 10 equals 2 times 8. So, we have AN plus 10 is equal to 16. Therefore, AN is equal to 16 minus 10. Therefore, AN is equal to 6 cm. So, let us substitute kung tama nga. So, we have 6 plus 10 over 2. Kasi AN is equal to 6. So, we have 16 over 2. Is it equal to FG, which is 8? Yes. So, we have 6 plus 10, 16 divided by 2 is equal to 8. Sabi nga natin kanina, FG is equal to 8. So, meaning we got the correct answer. Now, let us focus on the angles of an isosceles trapezoid. So, we have the isosceles trapezoid star. So, given that R is 70 degrees, so we need to find the measurement of angle S, angle T, and angle A. So, para madali, since star is an isosceles trapezoid, we will solve first for the base. Kasi nga, ang base natin dito ay si R at saka si A. So, since star is an isosceles trapezoid, its base angles are congruent. So, meaning A is equal to R. So, meaning angle A is equal to 70 also. Kasi nga, katabi niya si R. Next, step 2, find the measurement of angle S. So, doon naman tayo kay angle S. So, because angle S and angle R are consecutive interior angles formed by SR intersecting two parallel lines or sila yung magka-consecutive angles, then it implies that they are supplementary. So, kapag pinag-add natin ang dalawa, we have 180 degrees. So, para makuha natin si value ng ating angle S, we need to deduct 70 from 180. So, meaning, by substituting the value of angle R is equal to 70 degrees, we can conclude that angle S is 110 degrees. And then, for the last part, S angle S is congruent to angle T. So, alam na natin na si angle S ay 110. So, meaning si angle T, 110 din. So, napakadali lamang ng ating pagsosolve. Therefore, angle S is 110 degrees, angle T is 110 degrees, angle A is equal to 70 degrees, and angle R is equal to 70 degrees. Take note, this is only applicable if we have an isosceles trapezoid. Now, let us have our discussion about the kite. A kite is a quadrilateral that does not have any parallel sides. So, hindi siya kagaya ng trapezoid at parallelogram. Walang parallel. Pero bakit naging special ito? Kasi the consecutive sides are congruent to each other. Let us focus on the figure kite. K-I-T-E. As you can see here, K-E, ang katabi niya ay si E-T. Sila ang magkakongruent. Sila yung mga shorter side na magkakongruent. And then, Ki is congruent with IT. The longer sides are congruent. So, alam ko naman na kayo ay familiar sa itsura ng isang saranggola. At dito kinuha ang concept na iyon, the concept of kite. So, kailangan kasi maging balance siya para makalipad, di ba? So, ito pa rin yung ginagamit na properties. So, unaware kayo na nagagamit na ninyo ang concept ng kite sa paggawa ninyo ng saranggola. So, let us discuss the properties. The non-vertex angles of a kite are congruent. So, alin ba dito yung non-vertex angles? So, we have the angle EKI and angle ETI. Sila yung magka-congruent. Pero, yung kabilang angles, hindi sila congruent. So, take note, meron lang tayong isang pair dito ng congruent angle. So, yung ibang angles, yung dalawa, yung KET at KIT, hindi sila congruent. Next one, the diagonals of a kite are perpendicular. So, kagaya ng square at rhombus, nung nagtagpo ang dalawang diagonals, naka-form sila ng 90 degrees. Next one, the diagonal connecting the vertex angles of a kite is perpendicular bisector of the other diagonal. So, nung nag-connect ang ating mga diagonals dun sa vertex angles of a kite, naka-form sila ng perpendicular bisector of the other diagonal. And then, the vertex angles of a kite are bisected by a diagonal. So, here we have KEI, the angle KEI is congruent to TEI. And then, KIE is congruent to TIE. So, i-analyze na lamang ang figure. I repeat, angle KEI is congruent to TEI. And KIE, the angle KIE, is congruent to angle TIE. So, nagkakaroon ng pagkakahati-hati ang mga angles, yung mga vertex angles nating tinatawag nung dumaan ang mga diagonals. So, now, let us consider this example. BCDE is a kite. Find the measures of the other angles. So, one of the properties of the kite is that it has a pair of congruent angles. So, laging tatandaan, aling angles ba yung magka-congruent? So, here we have angle C and angle E having the same measurement. So, meaning they are the congruent opposite angles. Yung ating C at E, kung napapansin ninyo, yung pinag-connecta ng shorter side at longer side, sila yung nakabuo ng mga opposite angles na congruent. Si D at si B, hindi sila congruent ha. So, si C at si E lamang ang congruent. Yung pinagtagpo or yung na-form na angle mula doon sa shorter side at saka sa longer side. Kasi si B, si angle B, siya yung na-form nung pinag-connect yung longer sides. Nung si D naman, siya yung nabuo nung na-form ang shorter side. So, hindi sila magiging congruent. Ang congruent lamang natin ay yung pinag-connect si shorter at saka si longer side. So, we have here angle C and angle E. So, meaning, kung congruent sila, madali na nating masosolve si angle C. Because angle E is 110 degrees, ka-equal niya si C. So, we have C and E 110 degrees. So, kung mapapansin natin, tatlo na agad ang ating angles na alam ang measurement. Let us now focus our discussion with angle D. So, napakadali lamang na itong pagsosolve na ito. Kasi, ang measurement ng bawat quadrilateral, ng measurement ng kanilang angles kapag pinagsama-sama ninyo, palaging 360 degrees. So, angle B plus angle C plus angle D plus angle E is equal to 360 degrees. So, ibig sabihin, alam na natin ang B, ang C, at ang E. Pagsama-samahin natin sila at ibawas natin kay 360 para makuha natin ang value ng D. So, we have 360 degrees minus 60 degrees para kay angle B, minus 110 degrees para kay angle E, at 110 degrees then para kay angle C. So, we have angle D is equal to 80 degrees. So, to summarize, we have angle C is equal to 110 degrees and angle D is equal to 80 degrees. For our last example, down is a kite with diagonal DW. If the area of triangle DOW is 20 cm squared, what is the area of kite down? So, lagi tayong nakaka-involve dito ng mga area. So, kung maalala ninyo, when we have discussed about parallelograms, na-mention ko na ang formula ng area ng triangle ay base times height over 2. So, madali sa example na ito kasi hindi na natin kailangang isolve ang area. Given na agad. So, we have here area of triangle DOW is 20 cm squared. The question is, what is the area of the kite down? So, here, obviously, we have formed again two congruent triangles. And these congruent triangles have equal areas. So, kapag dinoble natin si triangle DOW, mabubuo natin ang measurement ng buong kite na DOWN or the kite down. So, DNW or the triangle DNW is also equal to 20 cm squared. So, meaning the area of the entire figure is 20 plus 20, which is 40 cm squared or square centimeters. For more discussion and more examples, study the Midline Theorem, Trapezoids, and Kites on pages 271 to 281 of eMath Rex, and on Math Time Volume Number 3, pages 18 to 27. For your activities today, kindly check the Genu lesson package I created for you, which is the Math 9 Week 5 Trapezoids and Kites. The lesson package is composed of 3 parts. The first one is the discussion, wherein you can download and read our discussion. Second one is the enrichment activity, which is about the trapezoid and the midline theorem. And the last one is the quiz, which involves the trapezoids and kites. As I end this video, let me leave this quote. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. So please be happy, good luck, and God bless. Thank you for watching this video.